record this. The group for the people who do miss it tonight. So we'll go through kind of a 30,000-foot view of what Stefan and I have been working on recently, and it's super exciting. I've been in the marketing space for a long time. I've built businesses. Me and Stefan have been in business together on and off since 2014, 2015. So over 10 years now, we've done day trading, options, marketing, sales, pretty much everything you can imagine, crypto. And other than Bitcoin, this right here, what we've kind of got our finger on the pulse of is like discovering crypto back in 2015. But even then, a lot of people were kind of put off by it because it seemed too complex. You don't know if you have to be a coder or an economic major or something to even understand it. What we're doing is we're going to kind of try and break it down for you guys in a way that helps you guys wrap your head around it. And once you wrap your head around it, then you can let your imagination start getting creative with the things that are possible with it, right? So when you don't know what you don't know, then it's hard for you to really see the potential in something. But once you wrap your head around it and you say, oh, this is like a very basic version of what this is. So now that I understand like APIs, for example, and what automations are, you can do this, this, and this, and it can apply to, you know, Jessica's field, for example, in real estate, or it can apply to me and Stefan in the marketing side, or Trevor and Turo. So with that being said, let's hop into it. So first of all, in the chat over here, can you guys put a 1 if you are familiar with AI agents, if you've heard of them before, if you've done some research on them? And then put kind of like put a 0 in the chat if you haven't heard of him, if you're a complete beginner to all of this. 0.5. Okay.
Expert. I don't know the answer.
Okay, gotcha.
$900,000 on it.
All right, so complete beginner. So let me backtrack a little bit just so I can give you guys a little bit of context before we jump into it. So in me and Stefan's space in marketing, you mind, hey, my man, you mind, I'll just mute you. Somebody's got phone going in the background. All right, so in me and Stefan's space in the marketing field, something that has been more and more valuable to businesses over the past 1 to 2 years has been automations. And there's very high level automations you can do through websites and platforms like Zapier, make.com, even go high level to a certain extent. And basically what a high level kind of automation is you have a trigger, right? So say a very simple Zapier automation would be a contact fills a lead form out on Facebook, and that creates a new opportunity in your CRM. That's an automation. It takes data from one platform, connects it to another platform, organizes it for you. That's a basic version of a super basic automation. What AI agents can do is it can take that, and it's not one dimensional. It can take that and it can actually parse that data and go autonomously accomplish tasks with that data. So let me give you an example that I gave Andrew for his company. So depending on who you are and what you do, you can come up with different agents that can greatly benefit you and your business, right? So Andrew, for example, has a large team of setters and closers in his company. Something that could be valuable for Andrew would be an operations agent. So what would an operations agent do? All of his setters and closers for his business at the end of each day have to fill out these KPI reports. And in these KPI reports, it says, you know, how many phone calls did you make? How many people answered? How many people hung up on you? How many appointments did you book, et cetera, right? All of the KPI stands for key performance indicator. So all of the key performance indicator metrics that Andrew as the CEO would need in order to evaluate his team's performance. What an AI operations agent could do is it could take all that data, parse through that data, and come up with very clear like results and goals around that data, so the AI operations agent can come back to Andrew and say, hey, over the last 4 weeks or over the last quarter or the last 2 quarters, Susie had her show rate decrease by X amount of percent. I've seen in her notes that she's saying she's dealing with something personally in her family or something. This might be something that you would want to set aside and maybe have a separate conversation with Susie about. If you don't have an AI agent or somebody that can do something like that, you have to do all of that manually. It requires, a full-time, this is typically what like an HR director or a chief of operations or somebody would do. And you pay them $70,000, $80,000 a year, whereas you have an AI operations agent that can do it for pennies on the dollar. And that's just one example. And so to give you guys a visual of how this works at a very basic level, I'll let Stefan take over and kind of let him share his screen and have him show you the very most basic version of what an AI agent is and what it can do. And then we'll jump into like some questions afterwards if you guys want some clarity or context around how this can apply to you or your business, or what Stefan and I are doing is we are, instead of doing this for businesses, we are coaching people on how to build this and how to sell it to other businesses. The AI gold rush is in full effect. Stefan and I have recently parted ways with an old client of ours who was a 16-year-old kid that Stefan and I took from $20,000 a month to $120,000 a month at 16 years old from selling these AI voice dialers, which is basically you give the AI a spreadsheet full of leads or a CRM full of leads, and the AI will cold call these leads and try to book them on calls or something. The AI voice dialer is a very one-dimensional tool. It is considered AI because it's an LLM, a large language model, but the AI voice dialers are, 2024. We're going into 2025, and the AI agents is, it's going to be the next big thing. If you look at the data on who all of the biggest venture capitalists and who all of the biggest banks are funding in terms of entrepreneurs and startup businesses, over the last 4 quarters, over 50% of all new funding to new startups and businesses were in the AI field. And you look at the biggest companies that affect all of our lives, Microsoft, Apple, all of these companies are shifting the majority of their focus and talent and resources, financial resources, into AI agents specifically. And you don't have to be a genius coder or anything like that to do this. And we'll give you a perfect example of this right now when Stefan jumps into it. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Yep. And so just for some context, I'm going to share my screen really quick. Now that we are at this level of where we are with AI, OpenAI has this large language model called ChatGPT. Google has theirs called Gemini. Now that those have what he talked about with an API, anybody can inject AI into their application or their product, right? Nobody is coming out with their own AI. So a misconception I had was when I saw all these AI companies coming out, I was like, oh, how's everybody making their own AI? Well, that's not what they're doing. They're just using ChatGPT's API, injecting it into their, in this case, what I'm going to show you here, agent, and then just directing that code, directing that large language model to do the task that it wants it to do. So what you see here is a basic personal assistant, okay? I've got it set up on a Telegram bot, and it's pretty simple, okay? All of this stuff here, this and this back here is literally for the voice, but the Telegram trigger to the agent to the response is really all you would need to make this work. This stuff down here, this is the agent. It has a brain. The brain is OpenAI, ChatGPT. It's got memory. It can hold 5 windows of chats, so it has some context. And then I gave it access to some tools. The tool is a Google spreadsheet where I have my contacts in there. And then I built out these very simple tools. They're drag and drop, very easy. An email agent, it takes action inside of my email. Calendar agent takes action inside my calendar. And I built a research agent that just pretty much has access to the internet, so it can answer random questions, right? It's just, this is a use case just to show you guys what's possible here. Keep in mind that this thing could have access to a bunch of different tools. It could have access to an onboarding agent. It could have access to an underwriting agent. Okay, it could have access to a customer support agent. It could have access to literally anything that a human can do. Anything that you press buttons on your phone, this can replicate it. Okay, so I'll walk you through really quick. Like I said, it starts with the Telegram. The switch here is if I send it a voice message or if I send it a text message. If I send it a voice, it'll go to Telegram. It will download the transcript or download the voice file, send it to ChatGPT and transcribe it, and then send it to the agent. If it's text, it just sets the text that I want it to send. So it's just the whole field. You pull it in. It's pretty easy. And then it gets here to the agent. Now, this is where in like Zapier or in a typical automation, it would just go step by step, one by one. There is no logic or thinking. At this point, what happens is it goes to its brain. It says, okay, what did it send me? So you'll see here in a minute. If I ask it to send an email to Ty, then it'll come in here. You'll see it think, and then it will just access this email agent. It'll come back here, come up here, and then send me a confirmation saying, hey, I sent that email to you. If I ask it to book a calendar event for Ty and I tomorrow and send him an email asking him what's going on with one of our projects, then you'll see it access this calendar tool. You'll see it access this email agent. It'll think again, come back to the agent, and it'll send it here depending on, voice or text. So that's pretty much what this is. Now, again, very basic, very simple, fun way to see what agents can do. So what I did was I downloaded Telegram here, okay? And this right here is 11 Labs. 11 Labs is like a voice avatar marketplace where you could go there. It's got an API. That's what I did here. And you can choose a voice that you like. And then when it sends you a voice message, which that's what this is here, it'll sound like that voice. So it's pretty cool. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to, I'm going to say, hey, can you set a calendar event for tomorrow at 6 p.m. for me and Tyler, and then send him an email asking about a case at. Okay, I got my calendar up here. I just want to show you I don't have anything booked in for tomorrow at 6. Okay, there's nothing there. Just want to show you guys that. Let me pull this back up. I'm going to hit test workflow. So now it's listening for it. I'll go ahead and send it. You can see it's going to go talk. It goes into the contact database, goes back, figures out it needs to use the email and calendar agent because I asked it to send an email and schedule an event. Goes back to the brain, comes back up here. Down here, you can see the email to Tyler has been sent. So let's see what it says. The email to Tyler Leilu about AK's ads has been sent successfully. However, there was an issue scheduling the calendar. Okay, so interesting. I've never had that error before, but you could see that it did go through and check it out. And let's just go and see if it said it. No, it did. So it did have an error setting the event. No big deal. But you could see it tried to use the agent. And what I can do, because this is such a simple one, is sometimes it's going to error, right? This is technology. It happens. What you can do is, instead of it coming back and sending it to me and then coming and sending and saying, hey, it doesn't work, I could just say, hey, run it again. So I could build into the agent a prompt that says, if it doesn't work the first time, go ahead and try it again before you send it back. And that would fix that issue. So that's just the big overview of it. You could see how it worked. You could see how it thought, right? It thought about what tools to use. It went in, used the tools. It didn't use the research agent because I didn't ask it anything on the internet. I just asked it to access my contact database and send an email. And And then I'm sure Ty got the email, so he could probably pull it up and show you guys. The email was sent, but that's the big overview of it. So why is this so huge? Well, before you had to hire a virtual assistant to do stuff like this. Now we can build out tools for businesses that can completely onboard members. We can build out inbound lead agents that when a lead comes in, I mean, we have these chat bots, right, that they can just talk to it, but now we can build out complex agents that literally live inside of your SMS GHL. And all they do is they're an SMS agent, and all they do is handle SMS. And so when you start to build out these systems, you can see how efficient businesses are going to become, and you can see how the businesses that start utilizing this stuff first, they're going to just, it's not going to be a competition. You can't compete with AI. It's not possible. So that's it for me, Ty. I'm gonna let it.
Yeah, didn't mean to interrupt, but I don't know if you can see on the phone the email that came through. So it utilizes ChatGPT in the copywriting aspect as well, because Stefan didn't write this message. It wrote this personalized message autonomously on its own. It said, "Hey, Tyler, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to inquire about AK's ads and any updates that you might have. Thanks for your assistance, Stefan Lanasi." And so a few weeks ago, when Stefan was working on building this very simple version out, I was getting text messages and emails at like multiple times a day all throughout the night. And I'm calling Stefan. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Why do we need to have all these meetings? But he was testing it, and sometimes it does glitch out like that. But once you understand the platform well enough, that this is why we've been behind the scenes focusing all of our time on this. Once you understand the platform well enough, you can go in and quickly kind of troubleshoot it. It shows you where the errors are at. And then you can also use an agent to connect to your agent that troubleshoots these issues for you. An example of a more complex one that we're working on for our clients, I'll share my screen real quick, is built out in a kind of similar way to this one. And those of you who are in the school communities saw a little teaser of this earlier today that I posted. Let me share my screen real quick, Stefan.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me, I was just trying to. So I just wanted to, that meeting was set now.
Oh, on the calendar?
Yeah, I just wanted to show that. Yeah, it's on there now.
Let me share my screen and show you guys so you don't think we're bullshitting.
Yeah.
So this meeting down here, meeting with Tyler. That's the one that he just scheduled right there. It came straight through my calendar, and then it showed up on a notification on my phone. But all right, so another example of a more complex agent that we're building out, right, is a similar process to what he just showed you. It's got much more layers of complexity to it. But say we have a new client that comes on for me and Stefan's marketing agency, and we build an agent that automatically onboards that client. Within that onboarding, it will send them a doc where it has them fill out everything about their offer, everything about their business, what are the different tiers of pricing that their offer has. So say they have a low ticket offer, a mid ticket, a high ticket. They fill all that out. This is all automated and can happen within the course of, less than a day, which would normally take an entire team of marketing, copywriters, media buyers, account managers, operations people, finance people. It would normally take a whole team of people about a week to fully onboard a client into a high ticket marketing agency, right? This can all happen within the course of a couple hours. So the client gets onboarded, it triggers the onboarding agent. The agent sends the client a Google Doc that has everything about their offer that they need to fill out. When they submit the Google Doc, another agent goes and it creates what we call a primer for the client. So the primer is basically takes all the information that the client gives us, and it spits out VSL scripts, ad scripts, sales scripts for the sales team, outreach scripts for the setting team to go in and do Facebook groups, and for the salespeople to understand the offer well enough to where they can sell it. So when the primer spits all of that out, another agent that's connected to that takes the ad scripts. So let's say this script down here, ad script number 2. So read through this quickly. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, recently said in an interview that AI agents are the trend that he sees dominating in 2025, and he's not wrong. Blah, 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 goes through the full ad, the call to action at the end. That agent is connected to another software that we have that automatically generates a UGC video of a AI actor that basically says all of the words that are in the script. And what I'll show you is the video that it spits out, which is this. So you just read the script, right? CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, recently said in an interview that AI agents are dominating 2025. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to hear this.
Probably not.
Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, recently said in an interview that AI agents are the trend he sees dominating in 2025, and he's not wrong. Here's the crazy part. This isn't something that's coming soon. It's happening right now.
Okay, so this isn't a real person. This is an AI clone of a real person. We use a few different softwares for this, but most of them will give you 100 plus people that have basically licensed themselves to be copied and cloned in an AI video. So this guy is one of those people, and he basically was created automatically through an AI agent, through the script that our other agent fed it. And all of this is possible through APIs, right? So I'll give you guys kind of a rundown of what APIs are. So what Stefan was just showing you were basically ways to connect multiple different AI softwares or tools with non-AI tools like Google Sheets or Google Docs. So what APIs allow you to do is, when ChatGPT first came out, it changed everything. Everybody was blown away. Now you can use ChatGPT to cheat on your fucking social studies test. You can use ChatGPT to write copy for your Turo listing or your real estate listing or whatever it is. But it's very one-dimensional, and it's not connected to anything else. It wasn't even connected to the internet until 6 or 7 months ago. Then you have another adjacent AI tool. So say like Air.ai or SendFlow or something like that, which is the voice dialer. So you give this AI access to your CRM. It will call people. It will try to set them on appointments. It's still, depending on the software that you use, a little bit clunky and not quite as effective as a human setter yet. But that's another example of another one-dimensional tool. Then you have tools like Midjourney, or what's the other video generation? I think it's Dolly or Midjourney. Dolly. You have image and video generating AI, which is you prompt the AI with whatever it is, a photorealistic image of a elephant dancing on an egg or something, and it spits out the video or the image of that. That's another one-dimensional tool. What agents allow you to do is it allows you to connect all of these individual tools together using APIs. And if you want more kind of like training and information, this would be a very dry and drawn out webinar if I were to go fully geeked out on what APIs are. But basically APIs allow you to connect platforms and tools with each other that are otherwise completely separate companies and completely separate platforms, right? And everything has an API. So whether you're using Go High Level for your CRM, Facebook for your ads, SynthFlow for your AI dialer, or ChatGPT for your copywriting, everything has an API, and the API is what allows you to essentially connect all of these together. So that being said, if anybody wants to learn more about how they can leverage this and how to utilize it, Stefan and I have gone, like I said earlier, we've gone more of like the coaching route. So we could, gatekeep all of this information, and we can have Andrew and our team of salespeople and setters just go contact businesses, and Stefan and I can charge $10,000 or $20,000 to set some of this stuff up for businesses. Or we could go more of a B2C, more of a B2B, but like, you know what I'm like a kind of a smaller version of the B2B route with this, and coach other people on how to cash in on the AI wave, right? So instead of gatekeeping all this information, what we're doing is we're helping train people on how to utilize it, how to leverage it, so that 3 years from now, you're not kicking yourself like a lot of people were after they missed the crypto rush and after they missed Bitcoin, because they were scared of how complex it looked and they thought they had to be, you know, a hacker or a coder in order to even understand it in the first place. What we want to do is we want to kind of demystify all that. I'm not a coder. Stefan's not a coder. There is some argument that could be made for the fact that coders are going to be completely irrelevant in the next 6 to 12 months because AI can do the coding for you as long as you prompt it the right way. So if anybody is interested in some of this coaching, if you have a business, we can show you how to streamline, automate, and increase profits, decrease your expenses by leveraging some of these AI agents. If you don't have a business, we can teach you how to create a business essentially around selling, around building, selling, and deploying these AI agents for other businesses. We can help you pick the niche. We can help you pick the specific, we'll help you identify within, so say, for example, we'll help you identify what a business's bottleneck is and how you can create an agent to essentially fix that bottleneck. So if you get, you know, a roofing company that comes in and they have payroll where they're paying these people $50,000, $60,000 a year to send estimates out to homeowners who've had their roofs damaged in hurricanes, right? You can go to this business and say, look, I can save you over $200,000 a year in payroll with just one agent that automatically identifies the houses that are affected by this hurricane and automatically sends them estimates on how much it would cost to fix their roof or whatever. We can give you the scripts for all that. We can teach you how to build the agents. We can even build the templates for the agents for you. And at that point, all we have to do is connect you with some salespeople, get you funding, get you some credit, get you some funding, put that funding behind ads, and then, you know, you're off to the races. And within the next 6 to 12 months, you're making money off of the AI wave. And, you know, you don't have to be a coder. You don't have to be fucking Elon Musk to know how to do it, right? So if that's something that you guys are interested in, send me a DM on school, and either me or somebody from my team, somebody from Trevor's team, somebody from AK's team will point you in the right direction. We can get on a call. We can discuss it a little bit further. So that's pretty much all I have. We'll open it up for questions for the next 5 or 10 minutes to help you guys out with anything that you guys want to know. So what's up? Questions, anybody? You don't have to type it in the chat. You can just take yourself off mute. We'll just
so for the training that you're going to offer, is it one-on-one, or is it like over group like you have on the school community?
That depends. We like to do group coaching, but obviously if somebody is willing to pay more money for one-on-one coaching, I like money just as much as anybody else, so we will make time to do one-on-one training. I do prefer to have people that are in a similar niche or a similar vertical to do group training around. So say, you know, home services, for example, that can encompass roofers, painters, contractors, whatever it is. So we might kind of group people into batches like that, so that the coaching is still personalized without it being so time consuming on our part to have to go one by one.
And I want to just emphasize the fact that all this stuff can be templatized. And the point of us even offering this is because we know what is going to make the biggest difference inside of businesses. So our goal is to build out the templates. We already have a few of them, and then give them to, you know, our members that end up coming on board. But so you're not trying to figure out, well, how do I build this? And then once you figure out how to build it, well, what's actually valuable? What's going to bring the most revenue, or what's going to make the business most efficient? Like, we'll have all that answered for you, so you're not thinking about that, you know.
One more one more question. How much would it cost for if we were to pay to do it versus, and you don't have to give numbers, but it pay to do it versus having us taught to do it.
So the problem with developers, because you'd still have to get somebody who knows code. Right now, it's in this transition where AI is making it so that guys like Tyler and I can even do this. Before, like 2 weeks ago, this I'll say 6 months. Before, like 6 months ago, this was not necessarily possible for guys like Tyler and I because you needed to know code. This has given us the opportunity to not need code, but it's in this transition period where only the coders know about this stuff. So because of that, you don't want to get taken for a ride by a developer when you come into them and they're like, oh, and you say, oh, I want this built, right? And then they're like, oh, okay, well, it's going to take this long and it's going to cost this much money, and you don't know because you've never done it, right? But the reality is it's not that difficult. And if you know the functionality of it, then you can approach them a little bit better. So I would say, unless you know somebody who's a coder that you trust and you've hired before, I wouldn't go and hire somebody to do this, just because if you don't know what you don't know, then you can get taken for a ride.
I've seen this a lot in the marketing space as well, and working at a lot of advertising agencies and marketing firms. You see a business owner that will come in and they will give this marketing agency the last $5,000 that they have. Instead of teaching the person how to run their own ads, which really isn't that complex. It might take 6 to 8 weeks. I could probably train somebody on how to be their own media buyer, how to leverage AI to write their copy, how to navigate the Facebook ad platform or the Google ad platform or whatever. That 8 weeks will save that person and their business hundreds of thousands of dollars, because if they never take the time to learn how to do their own marketing, then they're going to keep going from advertising agency to advertising agency. The average advertising agency is going to charge you $4,000 to $10,000 a month in a retainer in order for them to run your ads and manage your marketing. And so you just take that $4,000, multiply it by 12, and that's your opportunity cost every single year of not knowing how to do the marketing yourself. And so that's why, Stefan, I would rather teach people how to do this at a lower cost than we would typically charge a big business, but we would want to do it at a higher volume of people so that we're still making money. But obviously we're providing more value to people than if we were to just do it for a business, which is going to get a lot of value from it. We can increase their bottom line and increase their profits. But the value that somebody like you would get if we taught you how to do this would far outweigh the value of, some big business that
business making more money, right?
That makes sense. I was just looking into this maybe the last 24 hours, so it's funny that I got the notice for it. So I was like, let me join. But I definitely am going to book a call to hear more about how I could learn.
I'm recording this call, and I'm gonna use this part of the recording next year to flex on people. So it is December 18th, 2024. By October, November, December of 2025, everybody is going to be talking about AI agents. Everybody's going to talk about how it's completely transformed the business landscape. Everybody's going to be talking about, how if you didn't get in on AI agents, in the beginning of 2025, it's like missing out on Bitcoin in 2016 or 17. I'm telling you, like I've been through multiple cycles of boom and bust before and bubbles, and I recognize it when I see it. Like, this is going to be something that completely changes the game.
It's changed the game, sure.
I'm going to refer back to this call and let everybody know that we tried to tell you in 2024 that this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and this is the worst that it will ever be. That's the crazy part. It's only getting better from here. AI just advances quicker every single day. So this is the hardest it'll be.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Hey, Ty and Stefan. I just wanted to mention, like about 5 years ago, I hired a company to create a promotional video for me. and it cost me like $3,000, and that was just for one video. So I just want to say this technology is insane. To be able to do something like that at will. My question is, how proprietary is this? Like, is it patented, and how does that work?
So depending on what software you use, what platform you use, the majority of this is still in the tech space. So the people that are developing this are very similar to the people that were developing open source, decentralized cryptocurrencies and stuff. And all these developers and coders like to keep things open source. It's usually once it becomes mainstream is whenever big companies like to gatekeep it and they like to put it
Paywall. Yeah.
patents and paywalls and stuff. But the majority of this stuff, like a lot of these platforms and tools that we've found, nobody's even heard of before, and it's still completely open source. So as far as I've seen so far, there's no patents or anything like that on a lot of this. There are some privacy concerns around like that AI generated video that I showed you a minute ago, for example. So the software so there's a few softwares that do that. There's like, I think there's captions.ai, there's Adarcus, I think is the name of it. But a lot of these platforms will take real people. So they'll take 1,000 real people. They'll pay them money in order to license their image and likeness. And then once they license their image and likeness, it allows these AI platforms to basically do AI clones of them. And that's what you saw with the video I showed you a minute ago. That was actually a real person, but the video itself was not a real person. It was just an AI copy of him.
Where's that place where you get the UGC from?
There's a few that do it. So
Arc ads or
Arc ads, there's captions.ai. I think there's a few other ones as well. Arc ads was one of the ones that I found that had the best kind of user interface. It's very expensive. It's like a couple $100 a month. But that's one of the reasons why Stefan and I like doing what we're doing, because if we just have a group of students that we're teaching how to do this, then they can just leverage our account with some of these softwares and these tools, and we can still build it.
Able to clone yourself in that?
There are a few that you are able to do that.
You're definitely able to clone yourself 100%. I don't know if you can do it in Arc ads, but I know you can clone yourself 100%.
Okay.
I've already seen it.
That's dope. That would 10x content creation.
Well, then there's another template that we have. It's like the influencer template, and we literally clone an influencer. Let's say we take Trevor. I can create a knowledge base that knows everything about Trevor, and then we can upload his voice and just a video, and then someone can literally go and chat with Trevor, right? Yeah. But it's just an AI that knows everything about Trevor's business and everything about right. So it's
a lot of the downsides up until this point was like you could clone yourself as an AI, but you would have to give it a script on what to say, and it would sound robotic, and you could tell that it's an AI.
Right.
But with these tools that Stefan and I have discovered over the last few months is like if you have long form content of yourself, so like Trevor, for example, has multiple videos on YouTube that are an hour plus long podcast, this tool can autonomously, through an agent that we could build, autonomously go to Trevor's YouTube channel, scan all of those videos, and whenever it does make the clone of Trevor and speaks, it speaks with his speaking style.
So I'm going to pay for just that. I mean, I'll learn the rest and I'll have it already there, and then I'll learn to do it. But I may have to just pay for that. That is it.
Send us a DM. We'll point you in the right direction.
All right, cool.
Sure, for sure.
Anybody else have any questions?
Listen, guys, and this sounds incredible. And I'm new to all this, but I definitely see the use for it. And like the young lady was saying, as far as content creators, to not have to spend so much time talking to people. They could have their clone doing it. You ought to do something else.
Even from like a like a sales perspective, you could personalize messages so you don't have to clone yourself on a video, but you could clone your voice and say you're trying to make sure somebody shows up to an appointment tomorrow. You can send them a voice note that's in your voice saying, hey, so-and-so, I know we have our appointment scheduled tomorrow. I just wanted to reach out to you, let you know I'm super excited to meet you and blah, blah, blah. And we can please make sure you show up to the call. Yeah, like once you wrap your head around what Stefan has on the screen here, which is a very, very basic version of an AI agent, then you can start to get creative and say, well, if it can do this, then shit, it can do X, Y, Z, and it can do this and this. And it's all possible.
So how do we get in touch with you guys?
What are you coming from, the Let's Go Hustle school community or from
Yes.
AK's? Okay, then yeah, you can just shoot me a DM in school.
Okay.
And if I don't respond to you tonight, I'll respond within 24 hours or so, and we'll get a call scheduled.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. Any other questions before we hop off?
Real quick, I just want to say I'm really impressed by what you've showcased. Very useful information. I'm in that school community. I'm gonna shoot you a DM. I'm in the health niche, fitness niche type thing. Also, what was the website that you mentioned that you could use to clone yourself? What was it called? Arc Labs?
Arc Labs was the UGC creator. So what Arc Labs does is you give it a script like the one I showed on the screen, and then it lets you choose between, I think it's like 100+ different AI avatars. I don't know if there's capabilities for you to clone yourself yet, but we do have some tools and stuff in our Discord that once we hop on a call, I'll be able to give you more detail on that.
All right.
Yeah, arcads.ai. This is not it. This is a somebody's trying to scam them. It's arcads.ai.
Was there another one that you mentioned? I heard a different one.
Yeah, there's thousands, bro. There's like,
Yeah,
that's our whole kind of concept around the coaching thing, is like we help people see the forest through the trees, and we help you guys figure out like what tools are useful. A lot of these tools are behind paywalls too, so you're gonna have to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to even test some of these tools out.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we do.
They're all just using the free OpenAI API to do this stuff. Like they can make their own AI, dude. You know, like they're just using a prompt inside of an app, essentially. That's all they're doing. But that's why it's like when you learn how to do this, then you realize like, oh, okay, so okay, I get it now. Like people that never used to, like, it's gonna be guys like me. I don't know how to make video games, but in like 6 months, I could make a video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's where this is going. It's like
Dude,
whatever you would do, you can do it because AI will literally be able to guide you through the process.
For your
Yeah, I
needs,
saw Adidas. They kind of first AI commercial.
Right, dude. Right.
the health
That
and
was
fitness
insane,
niche, you said you're in the health and fitness niche, right?
Yeah.
So in yours, like you can even use it as a lead magnet on your ads, and you could say, look, go to my website. As soon as they opt in, they get a form that they have to fill out on your funnel or whatever it is with their age, their weight, kind of like their background. You can have an AI agent that automatically sends them a diet plan, how to track their macros, a fucking grocery shopping list based off of where they live in the United States. Like you can go super, super deep with it.
Yeah, we've got to.
All right, I'm definitely. I'm in the school community.
Okay, bet. Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna send you a DM.
Sure.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I was working with a client that was in the gym industry, and we were showing them some of this stuff. And then now they were delivering personalized meal plans, but they were also delivering personalized like workout plans, but all through AI. AI was doing it and sending it. So there's really a lot that you're going to be able to do with this. And when you go to businesses, it's not just like anybody else who's just trying to take money from them. You can literally increase their offering and make their product better because you bring this stuff to the table. You know, it's not just trying to take your money.
You said that this API is integratable with social media too, not just websites?
Every website or platform has an API. It's basically like,
oh yeah,
it's like your website's like a mailing address version of the internet. Like every website has an API.
right.
And there's different tools that just connect those APIs to each other. So if you're familiar with automation softwares like Zapier, that's what people use Zapier for, is they connect the Go High Level API with their Facebook ads API, and it lets data go back and forth from different platforms.
Yeah.
This platform has like, I want to say 300 or 400 native like integrations. But for instance, this is 11 labs, and this is just what's called an HTTP request. And if it's not a native integration, you can just pull it from the URL. Okay, and every single website will have this documentation on how to pull their API. So you can just, if it's not here, you can make it be here. So literally any website can be connected to this.
Gotcha.
The
Appreciate
health and
that.
fitness niche is a good one though for it. Are you from the Let's Go Hustle community, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Trevor and his wife used ChatGPT to come up with a meal plan for them, like a weekly meal plan. And they put it in their weight. They didn't really like prompt it really the right way because they're not super familiar with like ChatGPT and everything. But even just the ChatGPT basic meal plan they came up with helped them a lot. They're saying they have more energy now. They've lost a few pounds in the past week or two. So just imagine what you could do with like somebody like you that's an actual professional in the field that can prompt it the right way and automate the whole thing. And then another benefit also is you get the data on everybody. So if you build up a book of business that's like 1,000 people, you have data on all of those people. So you say, okay, these types of people seem to be getting the most results from, eating XYZ each week, as opposed to these people who had this plan that didn't get the, as good of results. So the data is also another component that's super valuable to everybody.
Yeah, no doubt.
Any other questions? No.
Yeah. Here's a real question, guys. How do we know any of this stuff is real? And all you guys aren't AIs right now.
That's what AK said to me yesterday. He's like, bro, I think you're a robot. I don't even believe this is real.
No, what's crazy though is so I think it was Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, maybe it was somebody else, but I was watching a podcast that they were given. They're like, look, any kids that are born after 2019, they're going to grow up, and if they don't literally see something with their own eyes, they're going to think it's AI generated. Like they're going to see a commercial with a tiger on the commercial, and the kid's going to be like, tigers aren't fucking real. That's AI generated. Because if they haven't seen it with their own eyes, it's going to, the lines between what's real and what's AI generated is going to get so blurred that people are just going to be, unless you literally see it with your own eyes, people are going to think everything's AI generated.
And I mean, I'm already there because after I found this technology, I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, half the shit I seen on television is probably AI at this point. Like, This is not just new, right? It's been out. They're just giving it to us now.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'll be looking through some DMs and stuff from you guys, and hopefully we can help you all out. But look out for more sauce and gems that are going to get posted into the communities as me and Stefan learn more about this stuff, what's working, what's not working. We're going to be posting it for you guys and try and keep you guys in the loop on what's going on with everything. Cool. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate you guys.